Welcome back to the Export Lounge, episode number 7. Our guest, quarterback out of Valparaiso, Indiana. We have yet another Hoosier on the show today, which is really good to see. He's also a Swiss champion now. He's played in the LFA in Mexico. He's played in the ELF in Europe and the X League in Japan. I don't know how many countries. He's about to tell us how many he's played in. Multiple championships, multiple MVPs. We're just going to break it all down with him today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Aaron Ellis, the man. Here you go, baby. Good to have you.
Appreciate it. Who's the other Hoosier here?
Yep. Me,
3,
and Gabe.
I'm from Carmel, Indiana.
Carmel? Okay.
Not born, but raised.
Okay.
And I'm a Indianapolis guy. I was a West Sider and then spent high school in South Side, and that's where I live now.
Okay, nice, guys. That's cool, man. I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Carmel beat the living crap out of us.
Yeah,
in that JV season. I think we lost 69-7.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
when we played you guys my senior year, we had a little bit closer game. It was like 21-14 or 21-7.
Okay, really? Okay, nice. Well, boys,
yeah, but we'll go ahead and get right into it. You're from Indiana, though, but you went and played in St. Francis, and I dug a little bit into it. It's not the Indiana St. Francis, it's the Illinois one, correct?
It's not like the 10-time national champ St. Francis, the one in Indiana. It's the one in Joliet, Illinois.
Yeah. Tell us about your time there. What was your experience like at NAIA? Because being from Indiana, we obviously know about Marion. We know about the other St. Francis. I know UIndy's Division II, but how does all of that differ in your opinion from what you experienced up in that St. Francis?
So first I was at St. Joseph College, which was in the same division, the same conference as UIndy, and that was in Rensselaer, Indiana. And then they shut down going into what would have been my senior year academically. So when the school shut down, it was after signing day. Not a lot of scholarship money left. So D2 was out of the question. D1s were out of the question. So that's when I first heard about NAIA. And Coach Curry hit me up and said they needed a guy, and I was like, you guys got scholarship money? I'm coming. There's no question. Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got there. They had a fifth year senior starter there. So I was like, I had 2 and almost 3 years left to play athletically wise. And I was like, that's fine. I'll learn. But second game of the year, he tore his hamstring, so that I was able to go in, and I was fortunate enough to have a very good year that year. First time ever starting in college football, but I had an OC that was really, really strong believer in throwing it deep. I had a strong arm, and I had 2 All-American receivers, so it kind of just worked itself out for me.
That doesn't hurt.
That's a good combination right there.
Yeah, it does not hurt when your slot receiver runs a 4.4 and works out with the Chicago Bears. That's it was pretty great.
Yeah, a lot of guys overseas, and I'm sure you encountered this during your many escapades, but a lot of guys don't know about NAIA ball back here in the States, but there are some absolute freaks at that level who definitely could be playing at higher divisions.
Yeah. It seemed it always came down, the main difference between the two, right, was NAIA, less grade requirements. So a lot of times you got some freak athletes, but
Sorry for some technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. We were talking about just the differences in culture and how coaches and their treatment of their players kind of build that up or tear that down depending on how they approach a team. One thing I do want to get on, and it does have a lot to do with the X League, but if you hadn't heard yet, Xavier Bullock, the starting quarterback of the Potsdam Royals, left early in the GFL to go play in the X League. Yep. If he was on this call, Aaron, and you were trying to give some first-time advice for somebody going to the X League, what would you tell him about the league and maybe the differences from what he's already experienced?
Dude, Hey, do not rely on athleticism to win games. Don't do it. You have to know pre-snap what you're dealing with, because Japanese defenses, they move around so much, and it's so many different versions of coverage that you don't see in Europe. You got to process that information so quickly. It's not like in the LFA, it's really just it's backyard ball. It's find your best matchup and make a good throw. That's kind of what it is. Whereas Japan, it's really like you have to operate an offense going down the field. You got to be good at your 5 to 15 yard throws. You have to be accurate, and you got to know and process information like blitzes, because you only get maybe 4 or 5 chances in a game to complete a deep ball against some of these Japan teams.
Japan defenses, they just move so much. And defensive coordinators in Japan are really good game planners for the most part. Sometimes you're going to see a team that just runs man when they can't, and those are the games you get happy for.
Right.
I was on a team, unfortunately, when we got promoted to the top league, that ran a lot of man on defense, and we paid for it. We paid for it like heavily, 40 points a game, heavy. But yeah, I think, for him, and that's why a lot of guys transition hard there, because, in Europe, it's more playmaking, right? Like, we're brought to make plays. You want to make the huge throws, make the big catches one-on-one. Whereas Japan, it's like, you really got to commit to this. You're part of a team. You're not a solo anymore. Like you don't exist as a quarterback. You exist as one mechanism, part of a large system, that you have to just be efficient. They're not looking for a superstar. They want efficiency. They just want you to be efficient and to mesh well with the guys. So, he has a good opportunity, because Elecom pays a lot, from what I know, like a lot. So he has a good opportunity, if he really invests in being a part of the team, learning the culture, maybe learning a few of the words to communicate with guys, and then just playing good, efficient quarterback. If he does those things, he's got a really good opportunity setting himself up really good. But yeah, I was interested to see that. And then Bay Harvey, the Swiss kid, is now the replacement over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. I did not see him leaving post-fam middle of the season. Did not see that one coming.
Hell no.
I think what you just said, when the team might pay that much. I mean,
no, you're not. Hey,
you're not worried about leaving a team that you just won a championship with. You're like, yeah, okay, got it. Let's go.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Well,
fair enough.
You're talking about how different it is over in the X League. And I think one of the big parts of that, and we don't talk about it enough because we don't have people with your experience, but it's such a corporate team structure where it's those giant companies over there that are the ones sponsoring and owning the team. That's who it's named after. How much does that play in his operational side of his experience that he's going to encounter?
So, like, Elecom isn't a corporate team, and so a lot of these teams, they're sponsored by corporations, right? Like the Asahi Challengers back when, Dentsu Caterpillars, my former team. Dentsu is the sponsoring company, but the true only like corporate teams are Panasonic, Fujitsu. Those are guys that work at the company. They get an extra day off of work to practice more, type deal. But then so he won't have much experience with that unless when he plays Panasonic. Because I'll tell you what, those Panasonic, Fujitsu, man, different. They're just different, man.
So the guys that play on
loaded with talent, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, like in 2023, when I got Dentsu promoted to the top league, we had to go play Panasonic, and this was the year. Did they win that year? No, they won the next year, I think. That was the year. That might have been the best defense I've ever seen. They had the 2 Americans on that team were ex-NFL guys. They had a couple Japanese guys that were ex-CFL. And then, they were monsters, dude. I had 60 yards passing.
Sorry.
It's the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life, dude. I've never had 60 yards passing.
Right.
I've lost games by a lot, but never have 60 yards pass. And we couldn't run the ball, so we were only throwing. Like, it was just, my American receiver had 0 catches. The league didn't believe that Ray had 0 catches, because Ray is one of the best athletes in Japan. So they put that he didn't play in the game, even though he played the whole game. I couldn't get him the ball. Could not get him the ball. That NFL DB, strapped him down at the line, and then they had a safety over top of him. So there was just
Nothing you could do.
I threw a few passes over there, no shot. And then I got sacked 10 times in one game. The D line we lost 69-0, I think. It was the
Outrageous.
most insane defense I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know, man. I don't wish that on anybody. Now, I didn't have the team to match that, right? Whereas Elicom is better than my team was, so it's a little better matchup. But when your team they all work at the same company and they all come with the same energy, it's a different, it's a little different level, man.
So you definitely are.
That was my question.
Go ahead, Quiggs.
So a lot of people over here in Europe, they obviously work day jobs, like they work throughout the day. In Japan, they worked for the company that their team owned.
Yeah, listen to this shit, man. Listen to this shit, because the amount of respect I have for Japanese players, because yes, we know Europeans work, but Europeans don't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Japanese dudes, they're at work at 7 a.m. sometimes, and they don't go home till 8 p.m. and then they'll go drinking afterwards, and then they'll wake up from 4 hours of sleep and do the whole thing all over again. And then 5 days straight, come practice on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, all day in the heat, like just ripping each other apart, full energy, no complaining, no like, I'm there, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, yo, Maso, when'd you get off work? So last night, 9 p.m. 9 p.m.? What do you mean 9 p.m.? What, will you go in at 3? No, in at 7 a.m. 7 a.m.? Brother, how are you functioning?
There's built different.
How are you breathing? Yeah. What is going on? He's like, yeah, I'm doing that for 3 years now. 3 years, brother.
Wow. That's crazy.
And then you're fine to get 20 guys over here in Europe.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so like that's why, I've caught some flack, man, for like people always ask me on some of these podcasts, like, what's better? What league's better? And to me, I always said it's just not close because of the preparation and like who they are, right? I always said Europe has the better athlete, like size, speed. That's why in games like the GFL Championship, you're going to see some crazy athletes making crazy plays. But when it comes to an 11-on-11 sport, a team sport where you're counting on guys to do their job, here, perfect Japanese teams, because I wouldn't do that. I'm not that guy. I couldn't function working like that and then practicing on the weekends all day. I ain't got that in me, dog. They do,
none of us
man.
do.
And it's crazy to see.
Well, do they get paid very well, like being on that team, even though they're local?
So the premise and the big recruiting point for teams like Fujitsu and Panasonic is, hey, you get a very good job, come work with us and play with us. You know what I mean? So like, working for a company like Fujitsu and Panasonic, those are great places to work in Japan, right? So it helps them recruit some of the best players when they come out of college. Now, the difficulty they face is they have to recruit guys that are going into that work environment,
right,
out of the Japanese college system, right? Because if someone's a physiotherapist, they're not going to be
able
to work for Panasonic.
No. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could get hired as the physiotherapist for a Fujitsu building, and I'm sure teams do things around that for a special player. But if you're a carpenter, they're not just gonna. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come build our headquarters.
Yeah. Hey, maybe. You know what? I'm sure people there's a lot of ghost pros and stuff in Japan where like they get you a job, but you're not doing anything.
But you're not paying them through the team, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I won't say anything about that, but we all know that happens everywhere. That happens everywhere.
Yeah.
On that note, and I have a feeling that you'll answer this question with a similar tone as you have with the football over there, but you had to come over from America and adjust to the lifestyle in Europe. And a lot of times that's pretty similar to what you find in America. Not always, but a lot of times it is. Going to Japan, I have to assume that is a completely different world and a completely different culture and mindset. What was that like for you that first time?
Brother, have you ever experienced true loneliness? Have you ever been alone with your thoughts for weeks on end and not said a single word to anybody? It
Is it rhetorical?
No, it can get crazy, brother. I still have the messages. John, you guys had him on from Inside Sports Japan. He is the only reason I stayed, because I went there for that first year, and I'm in this tiny apartment, this tiny apartment. I got like 2 teammates that speak English. They don't live anywhere near me. They're working full-time jobs. I don't have any other foreigners on this team. It was me staring at this wall in my computer for weeks without saying a single English word to someone face to face, because people don't speak English in Japan for real. By week 2, I started seeing shit, man. I was talking to myself, like having conversations with myself, just like, and I'm sitting there like, dude, I'm miserable. I need to go home. I started like making up shit in my head, like, oh, is my appendix about to burst? I was feeling ghost pains. Like, I'm in my head, like, holy shit, this is stressful. Because I like socializing, I like having teammates. Like, that's a good part about football, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm texting John like, dude, I might gotta go. Because it was at that point I still didn't know if I was starting or not, because they were still it was 2 weeks before the first game. I was taking second team reps. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, man. And then John's like, give it a week. Give it a week. Push through. Trust me. Gave it a week. I went to the coaches. I'm like, why am I taking second team reps? Oh, you didn't ask. That's how it works? They're like, yeah, you're starting, but you didn't. I'm like, okay. It forces you to get out of your comfort zone, right? Like, you walk around Japan, nothing's familiar, everything's in a foreign language. But you got to really put yourself out there. And once I did that, it became easy. Now you love it. You know what I mean? I'm in love with that place now. But in the beginning, man, it was tough. I'm talking to myself. I'm staring at walls. I haven't seen a foreigner in weeks. I don't know what's going on. Every time I'd leave my house, the old lady across the street would stare at me like,
who's that?
Getting stared at, like, you don't think about it much. Getting stared at is quite uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, you're tall white guy walking around Japan. Yeah, you're a zoo animal.
That's what it felt like, dude. I'm like, dance, monkey, dance. Okay. That's what it felt like, man. But no, it's a great place. And a lot of them, they're really looking at you because they're curious, because a lot of these people have never seen,
right.
They just haven't. So it's interesting for them. They don't mean it as disrespect.
Right.
But, I'm from Indiana, close to Chicago. We go to Chicago a lot. Like, you staring at someone, that's a sign of disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah.
You're trying to get some on you, staring at someone like, no, don't do that. Yeah, that's how I felt when I first got there, and I had to check myself. I'm like, what is your deal, dog? What? Why are you looking at me?
Do you want a picture or what?
That's longer. Yeah. Oh, that's for sure.
Well, you mentioned that a couple things is these guys are super dedicated to their craft locally. And then when you were there, you played against a bunch of former NFL players. I'm sure that they are still doing that. I'm just not as familiar with that landscape. But what I have noticed, and we just talked about at Xavier, was they're starting to bring a lot of guys with Europe experience just from what they've put out. And what I mean by that is Reese Horn, who was with Vienna and a couple of other teams in Europe, with AJ Wentland, who's been a dog linebacker. Do you feel like they're starting to get guys with more European experience, or is that just kind of happenstance recently?
I think it's the best route to go, because I can't tell you, Chase, how many times they've brought a D1 guy, an ex-NFL guy, straight out of the States, brought him over here, and he didn't work out. Like, he's getting outplayed by a D2 guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's at least with Europe, you've played in Europe, you have this experience to transition. You understand there's a difference in how you need to behave, how you have to work. And typically, how I've always felt, guys that play in Europe are a lot more humble than guys straight out of college. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're more like not self-centered in a selfish way, but like they're more grounded. They're more
aware,
big picture,
self-aware. Yeah.
Yeah. Self-aware. They know their weaknesses. They know their strengths. So like, I think that's why we're seeing more of it, because you're right. It is a lot more lately of guys that are playing in Europe that are now going to Japan. And it's working out, man. But like AJ was always a super grounded guy, right? He was always a team first guy. and he's a great player, so he's doing well. You know what I mean? You connect those things to guys that succeed in Japan. It's what's their work ethic? Do they care about their teammates? Those are the more important things those teams look for, because I'm not going to name a name, very talented quarterback guy that I watched come to Japan, probably way more talented than me, so much more talented than me. Dude played awful. Dude was terrible. Dude couldn't win a game, save his life. But that's just, you got to do the right things.
You got to play the game outside of the game.
I think it's like you said earlier, like two things you've said that really stood out to me about the X League, because I know nothing about it. Like other than when you were playing there, like following along, whatever you would post of what you had, but which isn't much. They don't market that much. But the two things were that the guys do their 1/11th, which is something that in Europe you don't get almost at 90. And I'm not being facetious here. 90% of the places, there's guys that just don't do their 1/11th of it. You have 100%. Your few teams that do. And then the other thing was that you have to rely less on the athleticism and more on the cerebral part of the game. And for guys like you and I, who are tall, white pocket passers who like to throw the ball, like for you, it
benefits us.
Right. It helps us just a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
Going from like success in NAIA, then going in throughout Europe and all that kind of stuff, did you feel like you lost a little bit of that? Because, you know, like when you play in certain leagues, you don't see much of it anymore. What was that like when you're going to Japan? You're like, holy crap, they just went from a too high look, then they chased down to man linebackers are dropping into deep halves. Like, did that take much, especially in your first experience when you're talking in your room to like a volleyball like Tom Hanks, you don't know what's going on. Like, did that brain switch, did that take a little time, or were you like, nah, I got it, it's all good?
No,
Brad,
man,
you're so good at this, dude.
So my first year, I only threw one interception, and it was in the first game, the first red zone drive. And they did a crazy look like goal line man switch to a goal line fire zone blitz with like the end dropping into the slant coverage on one side. And I fucking threw it right to him. Straight to him. Because I was like, oh, touchdown. Bam.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. And when that happened, I was like, holy shit, I get to play football the way I was taught to play football again. And I got so excited. And from there, I just went crazy, because if you had the stats from everywhere I've ever played, my worst years are when everything had to be relied on just being a better athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the defense runs one coverage the whole game, and if you got the receiver to beat their DB, then you're good. But if you don't, you're going to have a rough game. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what it is, right?
Right.
Because like when I was in Vienna and in Mexico and in the ELF, that was the vibe. It was, hey, we're running like these 5 plays, and you are paid to be here to be better than everybody else. And I'm like, man, that's not really who I am. I know football really well. That's me, and I can throw the ball pretty fast. That's who I am, and that's where I succeed. So, like you said, when I saw that, I was like, okay, let's play ball. Let's play some football here. Because in Mexico, man, it was I'd be getting yelled at because we had the quarterback communication.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the OC was a flag football guy, and he loved one of our American receivers, JJ. But it doesn't cut off like it does in the NFL. Mid play, this dude's yelling at me. Mid play, he's like, "Hey, throw to JJ. Hey, throw JJ. JJ's open. Hey." But JJ is in double coverage. But because the mindset is just be better,
right?
He's expecting me to just be able to put off my back foot with pressure and put this like on a rope dime into this double coverage go ball. That's what he's expecting.
Yeah.
I was taught by my college OC.
Yeah.
If you throw into double coverage, I'm putting you on the bench.
Right. I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to sit you down right here, and you're not going to play again.
Right.
Like that was the number one rule was don't throw double coverage. Don't throw bad picks. That was like our whole philosophy in college. And then I'm going to Mexico. He's like, you need to throw to JJ. I said, there's 2 motherfuckers there. He's like, I don't care. You throw JJ. Yeah. But so Brad, you're absolutely right, man. I'll tell you what, it is the best. That's why I love Japan. It fits to me.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Go ahead, that's
sorry.
why I don't like comparing players to like what league they're in, because your strengths might not fit the league you're in. It doesn't mean you're a bad player.
Right.
It just means, hey, this team or this situation isn't bringing out the best of you. And my belief as a coach, when I do coach, I need to get the best out of my players. And if we're doing shit that makes you uncomfortable, I'm failing you. And that's how I think football should always be.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think I'm more or less envious of how the X League is, because I play a similar, like Gabe and I say often, because our situation here is not great, is that we don't get to play football. We get to go out there and try to just do something.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had the opportunity to read a defense in 10 weeks of playing here. And it's the one thing that I'm good at, and I'm not allowed to do it based on other circumstances. So it's like when you talk about that the X League's like that, there's like a part of me that's like, man, if only another league close by could get into that. Because even the GFL, I mean, let's be honest, the bigger leagues over here are still athlete driven, right? There's some good coaches, there's some good schemes, there's a lot of this good stuff. But the way you talked about the X League, and one, the player scheme of doing what they're supposed to do, doing their job, and then you're brought in to be as I call it, be a quarterback, not an athlete, be a quarterback. Sure, you can be both, but a quarterback first. It's like there's a little bit of jealousy in me, a little bit of envy, the fact that you got to experience that kind of football again, because it's been 10 years for me over here, and I haven't had that since high school.
Well, I'll tell you what,
And
I think it's there's still some places in here. Like I said, man, we haven't talked about Bern yet, but that was Bern for me, man. I was shocked. I don't know what it was, but when I got there and I proposed this challenge to the guys in that preseason meeting, I told them, because I followed all year last year, and I'm like, this team is way too good to be 7-3 and losing the semifinal. I was like, this ain't right. When coach finally signed me, I immediately watched every game on Huddle from last year. I'm like, holy shit. Defensive schematic, offensive schematic, you guys just aren't doing anything that helps your players.
Right.
So I told them, I was like, guys, listen to me. You guys work hard for me. You do your 1/11th. Exactly, Brad. That's exactly. You do your 1/11th, your job. I will take care of everything else. Schemes, the game planning, all of it. And then I had a great head coach, Oliver, who was a good run game guy that helped me a lot with that stuff. But it makes football so much as a quarterback. As a receiver, on the other hand, you might prefer hey, throw me this go ball and double cover. I'm going to go take this play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that goes into the 1/11th too, like understanding because like I played against Bern my 2 years there, and that was before the ELF took all their good players and then gave them back. I had to deal with Tim Yanni and all those guys in the D-line just coming through and just eating me for lunch, brother. So I was like, when you guys won it this year, I mean, I wasn't surprised because I knew a lot of those guys came back. But when you say they all bought into it, that's the most important thing. And I'm sure you were able to drive that home, thankfully, obviously. And I won't overstep Chase for getting into the Bern season, but
Brad, are we getting to the point? Are we there yet, Chase? Where I get to
go
a little bit out to you guys? Because is that where we're at? Y'all picked against us. It hurt my heart. Picked against us every time.
I had to.
I know.
But mine was because of the past experience too. Like when I played against both of those teams, Kalanda and Bern, I actually had more beef with Bern because they killed me. Like Kalanda, at some point, they let up a little bit on defense. The Bern guys, they were unrelenting. So I have like a little bit still stuck in there of all those hits I took.
Was that 2022?
I played there against them in 19 and 21.
Nights. You played 2022.
Yeah.
So you had that Clark was there that year.
Yeah.
And
Clark
they had
Evans.
they had like that
Malcolm
XFL DB, didn't they?
Liggins.
Chase?
Yeah, he was a problem.
That dude was a problem.
He like knocked down in our 3 matchups. I can remember vividly 4 touchdowns that if he's not on the field, we score.
You get it? You got that one?
And if he doesn't play in the national championship against us and have a kickoff return and lock up we were terrible at receiver. No offense to those guys, but they are much better now. Locking up our only receiver, if he's not there, it's a whole different game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
go ahead and go on your Bern spiel. Just
yeah. We all
Listen,
rooted against you.
I'm just gonna post two things. First thing, I know Robin didn't play, and I got a lot of respect.
Yeah,
for
did
Robin.
you know about that before the game?
It happened in the winter semifinal. I have the clip. I'll send it to you. It was unfortunate. It was on a power read keep. He got killed from his knee.
Was that after the CEFL final?
Yeah, that was after.
Okay.
Yep. So semifinal against Winter on a keep. He got hit low and it caught the leg, and then he got hit from up and it twisted it.
Do you know what the injury ended up being?
It was everything, from what I understood. And I got a lot of respect for Robin because he's that kid. Like, I mean, he's what, $160 soaking wet, $170 soaking wet, and he's doing all these quarterback runs, getting fucking killed and getting up, getting killed, getting up over and over and over again, especially against our defense, dude, because the quarterback run was the only thing that was working against us, to be honest. So he was just taking shots from like Burry and these giant linebackers and this D line. So I had a lot of respect for him, and I always want to play against the best. Like I don't want to win a championship just because you're starting quarterbacks out. However, they don't win if he plays. I'm sorry. It doesn't happen.
Did you listen to our last one where we asked that question where we thought, okay.
They do not, brother, my defense is the most disgusting, like domestic league defense I've seen. Like practicing against them every day. Like the reason we were so good was because we had to be good against that. We're blocking Tim Hani, who's 6'5".
He's a freak of nature.
Yeah, and then we're blocking Yannick. We're blocking Leakdy. We're blocking, all these guys. Burry coming off the edge, dude. Like, we're blocking these guys. So when we have to go block other people, it's like it's
like
easy.
The donut off the bat.
It's iron sharpens iron right there.
Absolutely, and that's what I was saying. That's why we got so good. Now, what happened that game? Why the score was so low? We knew he was out. And so offensively, my mindset went to, listen, we score. I wanted 21, but I was like, realistically, we score 17, this game's over. So we actually installed a lot of our mindset, because we ran the ball more that year. We were going to the game, we're going to run empty, we're going to throw the piss out of the ball. Well, when Robin wasn't playing, it was like, okay, why throw the piss out of the ball and risk turning the ball over when if we get 17, the game's over?
Right.
So, we missed that first field goal because our holder had his pinky in front of the ball and it hit it, and it was short. Because our kicker can hit from 60. Niels, he kicked in college, really, I guess. Good. He was young. He's a monster. So should have been 17, but it was one of those games where, I mean, Kalanda's defense is very good. Like, I talk about our defense, but Kalanda's defense is very good as well. They got all 3 of their linebackers are imports. Mike's an American, and then they got 2 EUs. And then the domestic D-line guys, they're good too. And they run good stunts. And stunts is what killed us in the first game against them. So I was trying to get us as prepared as possible for that. But it's funny because we installed all this stuff, and then fourth quarter came, and we still haven't scored. And we said, fuck it. We're going to run the basic 4 plays we installed from the first day in January, which was hitches, fade out, duo, and dive bash. So like, I'm the dive guy, running backs outside, and it worked, and we scored 14, and I was like, that's enough. That's all we needed. We don't need to do nothing else. And also, week 6, I tore 70% of my synostosis tendon that holds your tibia together on your high ankle. Doctor was like, you're not playing maybe till the championship game. And I said, funny. What we did was we taped my ankle together as tight as humanly possible, put a brace on, then taped the cleat over the brace. So I just couldn't move it. Because it's the tendon for every roll you make on your ankle when your tibia pulls apart. It's that tendon that holds it together. So I missed 1 game. I couldn't play in the Tune game because it was doctor's like, if you play in this game, you will re-tear it. There's no way you won't. After this game, it gets a little safer. So I couldn't move until the championship game. And even the championship game, there's a couple times I run the ball and it looks like they just tackle me. No, like my ankle would just give out and I would just fall down. I would literally just fall down. I'm blocking this D lineman on a reverse and it looks like he shoves me. No, I'm blocking and my ankle gives out and I like, Woody from Toy Story when
Andy comes in.
It's just fucking ragdoll. Yeah. That's what it was. So, we weren't 100% either, right?
It's hard to be 100% at the end of any season.
Yeah.
100%. And in Europe, you guys know it. There's a lot of winning a championship is getting lucky and not being injured at the end of the season. You know what I mean?
Timing.
Because you could be on a team with the best 11, but your next 11, if
might
they
not
gotta
have
play,
any backups.
Yeah, they may not even be their 11.
Brad's gonna have to go play DB at some point.
It is a realistic combo
for this year.
Which is unfortunate.
I will say, I tackled Latavius Murray in high school. So
did you? Okay.
Yeah.
His claim to
Technically, I
fame.
have that in the back pocket. I don't know if anybody here in the GFL stacks up to him. I'm still hoping I don't have to try it, but
that's a pretty good accolade, man. But I'd pay to watch Brad play corner. I'd pay.
I was a safety. I was safety, just quarterback of the defense.
Okay, all right.
You're not getting me lined up one-on-one with a guy that's way faster.
But yeah, man. I just wanted to take a little time really talking about just how great my teammates were, man. How much they bought into this 111th mindset. How never in my life have I walked in to an install meeting and had my local O-lineman never bitch about anything. Never have I had my receivers not bitch about not getting the ball. Because the mindset was, guys, our defense is so good, we don't need to be this crazy high-powered offense. We were the most dominant time of possession team in the league. We would have 6-minute drives on the regular, dude. Like we would hold on the ball, get first downs, walk away with points. That was the goal. That was how we approached the season. And we had Nolan, 19-year-old receiver, have 17 touchdowns this year.
Crazy.
Dog. Zero complaints. All the other receivers that contributed, no complaints. There was guys like, hey, can I try getting some of these plays to try this too? And I'm cool with that. I like when guys want that, but it was never like, I never get the ball to
me. Yeah.
Dog,
right.
No one. The running back, we had a great running back room. And a lot of times they might only get 3 drives because we were so deep. We're just rotating everybody in. No one complained. If we ran all the way down and then a receiver got the touchdown, running backs did not care. No one cared who scored. No one. And I've never had that in Europe. I've never had a group of men who just did not care how it got done as long as it got done.
That's awesome.
And to give them their props, man, like it's the most fun I've ever had playing football in my life.
Wow.
Was with that group
Hell
of people.
yeah.
It's incredible.
That's what we love to hear.
Yeah.
And to see it all pay off is amazing, especially that Basel game. I hate that team. I hope someone from Basel watches this. It is the team with the biggest ego that thinks because they won a silver medal. You played for Basel, didn't you, Brad?
You're dead.
But that was back in the day. Different group of people.
I got you can say everything you want to say.
What, 6 years ago, right?
Could have been last year. The way I look at it, that's all good.
No, but they were just talking so much crap all season long. After we beat them the second time, 10-7, that was the game I got hurt. After the game, they're like, yeah, we'll see you in playoffs. There's no way you beat us 3 times. And I'm like, I don't know who you are. What are you saying to me? So when that playoff game came around, listen to me, dude. My teammates, there was not a single sane person in that locker room. The amount of people that were like, you need more hate in your heart, it's not enough.
Yeah.
There was 0 chance they were going to win. There was 0. They even got up on us 14-6. 14-6. And they're talking shit from the sidelines. Oh, yeah, all day. And we looked on the sideline, and my O-lineman, my right guard, Ricky, he said, Aaron, they talk shit about your mom. You don't have enough hate in your heart. And I'm like, Ricky, let's go, dude. We went out there. We ran duo down their freaking throats the whole length of the field, and then threw a dagger for a and after that, they just lost all morale. But yeah, hate that team. Had to throw that out there. Sorry.
Really quick on that team, you gave Robin some props. Sky Noble's also a really good QB. What'd you think of him playing against him?
He is a containment nightmare. However, we have an awesome DC, and every time he cooked Sky, absolutely cooked him. The second game, he was 4 for 17 against us for 30 yards. And just playing to his system, playing into him. He's a running nightmare. He's got a good arm, but when it came to reading our defense and having to digest it wasn't there. It wasn't there. Now, the system doesn't help. I don't know who calls a system at Basel, but it's been the same shit every game.
Air raid system.
So every game, Brad.
I know.
No deviation.
I lived it.
You're gonna see
88 right, 88 right, 88 right. I'm like, dude, they're in cover 4. No, run it. 88 right, and that's all goes. By the way, it's just all goes.
And then that's what they did that second game.
Yeah.
They ran it more, and they're like, okay, we can beat them now because we ran some. I'm like, okay, you ran the ball well because we had a 4-man rush and 1 spy and took everyone else out in the coverage. But now Sky's a hell of a competitor. He's a hell of a competitor. It's hard for me to give compliments to a team I just can't stand.
Yeah,
so fair.
I get it.
But he is a hell of a competitor. I hope he doesn't come back because because that's the offense. Dude, we were not supposed to play Basel in the semifinal. We got the first seed, so we didn't have to do that. And then they lost to Thun.
Yeah.
And then instead of playing Winterer, who I was preparing for, we have to play Basel. I was so pissed. It made me hate them even more. I was so upset. And just because it's a team, right? When you have a quarterback that can run a 4.5, whatever the hell he runs, he's super fast.
Yeah.
And just scrambles and throws it deep. They are 2 plays away from scoring 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like our offense where we need to put some things together. I'm going to run around. Oh, you forgot him in coverage, touchdown.
Yeah, like you said, and some of that backyard football type stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. And that makes you nervous because it doesn't matter how good your defense is. You're 3 unlucky plays away from being down. It's like, oh, shit. But yeah, great competitor. Hate that team. That's what I'm going to say.
I think Brad has a good question that we want to get in, but I want to kind of get a little information that leads into it a bit. You did see Winty, and at that point, Max Gray was playing, who had just moved over to Winterthur. How was the change? 2 questions, I guess. How was the change of Winterthur before Max and after Max, and what did you know about Max before going into and seeing him for the first time?
So we were his first game, and were he second? I think we were his first
you were
game.
his first as well, from what I
and then
talked to him
Kalanda
about.
was next. I'm pretty sure. You could tell he didn't have a lot of say right away because he just got there, but because Winter's offense is also super basic. It's like it's just the same things over and over again. And with a Swiss QB, you can't have that. You got to create offense for him. You got to give him opportunities to find completions, get into a rhythm, because he's a pretty good passer. But you could see on the sidelines when Max would get frustrated, like, hey, we need to do this, need to do that. Because there was times Max was running wide open and the dude just wasn't throwing to him. But then he'd throw it to him in double coverage. So I think if you give a guy like Max who has a lot of knowledge and a whole offseason, the IQ of the team is drastically going to improve. Does that mean they're going to play for a championship next year? I don't really think so, but you're going to see a team that's they're not going to lose just because they're just being purely outcoached. That won't be the reason. And that was kind of the reason this year why, I mean, like they beat St. Gallen 13-7 and then go and lose. You know what I mean? Like it didn't they'd go and beat another team. It didn't make a lot of sense. Their season was confusing to me. They would have Kalanda neck and neck until the third quarter and then fall apart. You know what I mean? Like it was one of those teams that was super confusing. So I can't say for sure how much his impact's going to be, but you're going to see a much smarter team because Max is a very smart player, man. He's one of those receivers that's really good against zone coverage because he's really smart at finding those windows and being in the right place at the right time. So I hope he gets it better because I really like competing. We really only had a couple competitive games that year. Like Geneva gave us a good fight at the end of the season. There was a couple moments there where, I love competitive games. I love having the chance to win fourth quarter games. So I hope Winter comes back, and I hope Max is I hope they really give him the freedom.
Yes,
you know
agreed.
What I mean? Some teams, they'll be like, yeah, you'll be the weight guy. You'll be the weight guy. But then when it comes to taking criticism about your coaching, are you going to listen to him? Are you? Are they going to listen to him? I hope they do. Because if they do, they're going to be a better football team.
100%.
It kind of leads into what I was gonna ask. First question was, did you call the offense on your own? Were the OC?
Yeah, I called it.
So
but I had help from my head coach, Oliver. He was in my ear, kind of giving me some feedback on what was going on. How it always worked was every time we would run a play, I'm really focused on watching the secondary. He's focused on watching what's happening up front. And then we're kind of talking about what's going to work, what's not going to work. Because there came times, man, like I said with Kalanda with the stunts, we got away from all run game. We ran wedge.
Yeah.
Quarterback wedge, but hand the ball off. And just, we can't stop the stunts. Let's just everybody go vertical.
Yeah.
And let's move.
Let's try to fall forward for 3 or 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then my other question was, you talked about some games weren't overly competitive. When I was there, like those 2 years, it was really a 2-team league each year. The first year it was Geneva and Kalanda, and that was when Larry Legault was still in Geneva. And then the second time around, it was Kalanda and Bern. Have you seen, or like in your opinion, just because you were in it, and I haven't been in it for 6 years now, it's you guys, Kalanda, how's that like the rest of it kind of, Basel's there, Toon is there.
It's, I do feel bad for what I just said. I don't mean like the teams weren't better. It's just competitive for our team specifically because our defense was so monster that unless you had a good game plan, it was going to be hard to create offense.
Right.
But when it came to like how the teams were through the league, I felt this was a really good year in Switzerland. You got Toon beating the starting Basel players. Yeah, they had Bay Harvey, but at the end of the day, Toon was 2-6.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have no business losing the Toon just because of a new quarterback. Zero business. St. Gallen really giving Winter a run for their money. St. Gallen had Basel neck and neck. It was like 21-14 in the late third quarter. So like there was a lot of moments where I was like, hey, this team actually has some good pieces. To me, it was always the coaching.
Yeah.
It always came down to the coaching. And the reason why Jeff and Kalana has been so successful is because he's a smart coach and Kalanda has resources, right? So that's why when I saw the tape, I'm like, man, if Bern just had better systems in place, I think they're going to be a much better chance to win a championship. And you saw it. And that's why that championship game, you would think 14-3 would be boring, but it's on YouTube. You guys can watch it. It wasn't a boring game to watch. Like plays were being made. There was just like these minor setbacks near the red zone that kept anyone from scoring.
Right.
A holding penalty, a missed kick. Both teams had there was trick plays. We ran a flea flicker reverse. Kalanda ran like 4 trick plays. Like there was a lot of things happening. It was fun to be a part of it because there was so much good schematics being thrown at you. Right. And it was coming down to who could solve the problem the quickest. Like you said with the laptop shit.
Yep.
We're problem solvers. That's what's so fun about this game.
Yeah.
You have a problem. How do we solve it? And being on the sideline, it's 0. We're losing 3-0 at halftime. Now, I made a joke. You know that meme of that sock puppet that's looking like this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No. So I sent it. Aaron looking at the defense when they're down 3-0 in the fourth quarter. But like, you'd think people would be stressed, but we weren't. We were like, just keep doing. We're gonna get there. It's gonna happen. Keep trusting it. And then we kept figuring some things out, and that's when we were like, hey man, sometimes you're your worst enemy. Simpler is better. We're gonna run wedge. We're going to run bash, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to throw hitches when they give it to us, and that's what we did, and that worked. But yeah, man, I think the league's on an upward trend, to be honest, and it's so unfortunate because Chase, you and Brad, you guys know the league doesn't do any marketing.
Zero.
At all.
It's crazy.
Zero marketing, and it's really disappointing because there's a lot of good football being played in Switzerland. I'd probably put it, right below that. PFL, Austria, kind of right in that area under Austria between like, France and Italy, like those three.
Yeah.
Right. Because, Kalanda beat Tonon.
Yep.
Yeah.
We beat Kalanda, like there's a case to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's parallels. Right.
Is there any way that Bern becomes a CEFL representative? Or is that always going to be Kalanda because they're paying the money?
Somebody's trying to make it happen, it looks like.
I have no, I plead the Fifth Amendment. I have no knowledge of it.
Dr. Fauci. Okay.
I have been asked to ignore any requests for comments.
Fair. Yep. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, if there is
your
anything,
opinion, go ahead, Quicks.
I think dude, if we were in it this year, we win it. It's not what I believe. It's what I know. Like that you don't beat our defense, man. You just don't. It doesn't happen. Kalanda has a great defense. Our defense is nuts. It's not all we had to do was not be assholes and be idiots and run a smooth offense and keep the ship forward. Because the goal was always we'd be in situations, these certain third downs, like, okay, are we going for a first down or are we trying to be in a better situation to punt? Because we had a punter that could punt it. He could put it anywhere. And if we wanted to pin him at the 1, we pin you at the 1 yard line with our D line. Good fucking luck.
We're getting 2 points.
Yeah, we're getting 2 points, or we're getting the ball back on like the 40. Like, we get good freaking luck. And all those guys, they're going to be back with that team next year.
Yep.
So,
and you?
I have been asked not to comment on the current situation.
We're trying to corner it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Quigs, what did you have?
It wouldn't be us
there?
if we didn't try.
Well, I was going to say, just you've been playing overseas for almost the last decade, ever since I graduated high school, not to make you feel any older or whatnot, but you've seen a lot of ball. Is there, looking back throughout your whole career, is there a moment on or off the field that has just made this whole professional career for you? I know that some of us American guys that go overseas sometimes looking forward to like an NFL or a CFL or some extra career. What moment on or off the field has made this last decade for you to make you feel accomplished or make you feel some kind of way that makes you love the sport and ready to?
That's a great question, Gabe. That's a great question, but I'm gonna give you 3, and I'm gonna go from least important to most important. Number 3 was that first year in Japan when winning the MVP and getting my contract offer for next year, because it was my first like big money contract offer to where I felt like I accomplished something for myself. It was more like I went to a team that in a league that no one wanted to give me a chance. I did it. I got this team promoted. It's never been in the top league ever. And I got that. And that was special. And those guys welcomed me. I mean, it was definitely top 3 of all time. Second one has to be that first year at the Ibaraki Saviors last year. They're an X2 team, so it wasn't really the football, right? But it was the people. It was the people, man. It was such a great group of men, and the environment was awesome. I just had fun playing again and kind of reminding yourself why you do it. because I'm 30. I'm getting up there. Brad, you're up there with me. You're a little older than me,
I got
right?
4 more on you, pal.
Yeah.
You're not even close.
Gabe's looking pretty fresh
He's a
still.
child.
Yeah, he's looking pretty fresh.
comparatively.
Maybe a little out of college there. Chase has the mustache, so you can't tell at all. You just can't tell.
And I'm done.
But man, number one by far, not even close, was holding my little girl winning the championship trophy in Bern, man. That was, I didn't think I'd ever be a family man. It just wasn't something, we were living the European lifestyle, that flying solo, doing whatever you want, whenever you want,
Yep.
wherever you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's addictive. It's an addictive lifestyle, man.
Yeah.
And when you live it for as long as I did, and then just you're out of it, it's a weird but cool transition. And then, I never thought I'd love anything as much when I saw her. Like it was the most powerful, profound experience. And to be able to win that game and share that moment with her, it was, I felt complete at that moment. Like if the doctor told me I could never play football again, I'd be like, I did it.
So be it.
I did it.
Yeah. That's
You know?
awesome.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, she is a absolute blessing. I don't sleep much, but
I was gonna bring this
It's
up
a
at some
trade-off,
point.
the trade-off.
You brought us into it anyway, but I was just gonna ask, like, like you just said, you lived the one way of life for so long playing football, it changes in an instant, and now there's the transition into like preparing for football while also preparing bottles, diapers, and all that,
Man.
getting no sleep, having to go to practice, and all that.
So my wife's been great. She's been super understanding and support, because I've been a recluse, dude. I've been a loner, right? Like I love my me time. I don't ask her for permission to do things, but like being respectful and clearing things with her before doing them.
Yeah.
It's still like a giant turn. And it's like, dude, this feels weird. I feel like I'm a kid, but whatever, But like she's been super understanding of everything. And then the hardest part, Brad, and this is when I realized I was old, buddy, was it was like week 4. And they finally came to my place in Bern, and we were all living together finally after she was born. And she was waking up every 2 hours crying, needed to be changed or whatever. And I'm helping Anna. And I'm at practice. I fucking pull a muscle in my back. And I don't know why, because I was in great shape. Lifting heavy, everything. I go to my physio. She's like, it's probably because you're not sleeping enough. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? So I had to start sleeping in the living room sometimes just so I could get like a full night's rest.
Yeah.
And it went away. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm old. A little lack of sleep, and I'm pulling everything.
Back muscles with sleep.
Yeah, dude. I was like, that is the ultimate sign of the transition to being a dad, is like, all right, I have to get 7 hours of sleep. I have to hydrate and stretch. Those are the
things we should do as athletes anyway, but things you have to do even more so once there's another person relying on you.
Brad and Chase, I remember in college, I could go out there, 0 warm up, throw a 60-yard ball.
Yeah, my arm will fall off if I do that now.
Yeah,
my arm will go with the ball. And I train quarterback, so I even train little kids, and I have to do like a 15 to 20 minute warm up session before I'm working with 6th graders.
Yeah,
it's that bad.
Yeah.
Like Tony Romo on the dashboard hitting the hips and back.
Yeah, let me stretch really quick.
How old are we over there?
24. I just turned 24.
Oh, you're feeling good. Those joints are feeling great. I know it.
Oh,
well lubricated.
Yes, they're oiled. Yes, well lubricated. Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, this has been probably one of our best calls, Aaron, just as far as you going so in depth on your experience that I don't even have to do my rapid fire because I'm not looking at any question that wouldn't be redundant. But I do want to ask you all the questions that we ask imports, especially since you're so seasoned as we send you off here. You've played in more countries than a lot of American imports have. You've just been such a good journeyman. We have the blessing of having Brad on this show just because of all of the experience that he's had in different spots.
Yeah, Brad's been everywhere.
If you're talking to a new import right now, this is one question we give everybody. If you're talking to a new guy, what's one thing that they should know that nobody's going to tell them before they head over? That'll help their experience be better.
Don't make my mistake. And my mistake was this, guys. I was so caught in this mindset that it was NFL or I'm a failure that it ruined my first few years in Europe for me. I was so focused on getting somewhere else, I completely ignored where I was. You know what I mean? And it made life very hard for me because I kept looking in the mirror like, you didn't make the NFL. You failed. You're a failure. And it wasn't until I met my wife that I realized it's not what it is, man. You know, I mean, getting the NFL was always the goal. It was the dream, but it's not the end all be all, man. And make the most out of the current situation and enjoy it. Cause guys, you know how many guys back home wish they could do what I do? You know what I mean? Like, you ever talk to guys back home that they had to stop playing after college, never got another chance, had to stop playing after high school, never got another chance. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy it. Live every second for it.
Hell yeah, man. Good answer. Last one I've got for you. If you could address all of the clubs, particularly in Europe, I know you've gone elsewhere, but if you could address all of American football, clubs, organizations, leagues as a whole, what is one thing that you would say, hey, if we focus on this, we're going to grow the game of football substantially faster?
Park your ego in the trash can. Put it as far, because we all have one, man. We all have one. I have an ego. Trust me, I'm talking shit on the field. Like, my ego gets to me sometimes. I yelled at a girl ref during the season that I wasn't too happy about doing. And I apologize because we did a hard count. And she didn't throw the flag, but I still threw it anyways. And it was almost a pick. And I'm looking for the flag and I look at her. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I apologized to her.
It was clear as day. It was clear as day.
Clear as day. What do we do? But we got to just park our egos. Park your ego, man, and fight through your ego. So much better off.
Brad, Quiggs, anything for the good of the cause here while you've got the man?
I feel like we could go another hour easily, just with the way we all like to ramble on and talk ball. But
man, if y'all ever want to talk ball on that again, just hit me up, dude. I'll hop in. I like it.
Sounds like always a future yap session right there. Yeah, well,
when football in Europe, we can do it.
Or we could just have them on as a yap session where we don't even talk about Aaron. We talk about what we do when we yap.
Ball.
Let's talk about football, man. I'm down. I'm a dad. I don't get a lot of social hours.
I was just gonna say, you're transitioning into a whole different role.
There's two dads here, maybe three.
Yeah, but hey guys, thank you so much for having me on, man.
Yeah, maybe when we do that, it'll be when you're allowed to tell us all the stuff that you having to plead the fifth on right now.
Let's do it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
love it.
EA's most valuable import for Switzerland, Swiss champion with the Bern Grizzlies. Aaron has been everywhere, dude. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on, hang out, talk some ball. If there's anything that we can ever do to help you out in any way, I know that we're probably small potatoes versus what you've got going on, dude. But
nah, y'all dogs. I've been following Brad forever, man.
Hell yeah. That's why we brought him on. The Ostrava brothers, really.
The Ostrava fan, baby.
Ever growing.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want a chance to do what Aaron Ellis did, check us out at exportathletes.com. Other than that, this is episode 7. Appreciate you guys.